Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the You Got the Ron Dude podcast. I'm your host, Ron Jamin. Thank you very much for tuning in. This episode going to be talking about the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out this year. Recording this on February 4th, 2025. Movie's going to come out this summer, and 10-year gap from the last one, with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, and the others. And I just watched the first trailer, more of a teaser trailer, and I realized something, and I've always been aware of this, but I don't think I've ever put it on tape or anything. But when the villain or villains aren't the focus of the trailer, you don't feel any threat or anything. Now, they had some cool shots of what appears to be Galactus. Nothing about the Silver Surfer or Doctor Doom. So we'll see what happens with those. The apparent 60s timeline, 1960s, there's been some speculation about that. And to me, it doesn't do anything for the movie. And it doesn't seem to take itself seriously, which is a big problem, at least for me. I mean, the first iteration, not that never released, in theaters one from like 94, which is, 31 years ago. But really the one with Ian Gruffudd, of course, Chris Evans, and Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis. All great in those roles. I'd still like to see them come back, because that and The Rise of the Silver Surfer are great movies. Well, maybe not great, but good, entertaining, rewatchable. And I loved, what's his name? Julian McMahon. I get that right? As Doctor Doom. I thought he did a great job. Just an amazing performance. And then, of course, the Josh Trank movie that got review bombed even before it came out. And I'd still like to see Trank's version, because he said in a tweet before the movie came out in theaters that, like a year ago, I had a version of this I was really proud of. And I'd still like to see that. Kind of like Justice League with Whedon and then the Snyder cut. But at this point, it hasn't been 10 years. So I'm not saying it'll never happen, but we'll see. But with this one, there's just no real threat present. And I think a big issue is their powers. We didn't see any really cool shots or, oh, wow, I never thought of that. And we're going to see their origin story, of course. It looks like in flashbacks. But it looks like a great cast. But I just don't know if this movie's necessary. Not that every Marvel movie, every character, solo project has to be building up to something. But it definitely helped with the first iteration. With Iron Man and all the Avengers and that. And with this, it almost seems like you want to just introduce them, the Fantastic Four, in something like, let's say, Captain America, Brave New World. And then we find out later what happened to them, if they can make it different or something than the past two origin stories. And but I'm just not excited about it. I wish the trailer had blown me away, but when you're talking about characters and their powers, it's like, we already know this. Let's get past this, And I don't even know who's directing it, actually. I'll have to look that up. But it seems like DC and Marvel are kind of in the same boat as far as getting mixed, bad reviews on stuff, and just ever since Endgame. DC has been struggling, but I'll talk about that on, another episode. But Galactus definitely looked different than the one we saw in the Silver Surfer. And I guess a lady is playing Silver Surfer. I don't have an issue, but somebody pointed out that, Norrin Rad is who people want to see, and I don't know. Another concern is that we're going to have 3 villains in the movie. Now, if it's like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, because I remember before that came out, the director said, Mark Webb had said that the Rhino's in it for, maybe a few minutes. And he was right. And for me, that movie had a lot going on, but I thought it was very well balanced. And this one, we're introducing the Fantastic Four. They're already established. And visually, it looks okay. I mean, we have high definition. We've had it for years. But as far as the set pieces, again, just nothing blew me away. And I'm worried this is going to, not hit. Maybe not as bad as the last one with Miles Teller and that, but I don't know. Because if it doesn't work, we can always bring, all the different casts together in a multiverse saga. And just like Spider-Man, you try and either fix things or do some fan service. But we'll see what happens. I'm in no rush to see it. And I just wish that they'd come up with, another Infinity War Endgame type build-up. So that way in each movie you can even bury something. Like it has nothing to do with the plot going on, but you put a stone in or a post-credit scene being like, oh my gosh, whatever comes next, whoever's movie, like we gotta see it. And that's just not happening. Just like with Captain America, the new movie coming out on Valentine's Day. I think that's a bad choice. Is it because of the Red Hulk? Tell me. Come on. I think that alone will sell tickets. But these movies just have no punch to them. And even though I'm, branching off a bit, Captain America, I watched a clip and this guy who looks like he's taken over for the Falcon, with the same suit and that, does this move, takes out these guys, and then does like a dance. And I'm like, well, if everyone's joking around and trying to be funny, we don't need to watch these movies. Go watch a comedy. There's just nothing at stake. Galactus isn't presented as a threat. We just see it. And that's pretty much it. Like before he'd have a voiceover, I'm going to tear your world apart. I'm going to destroy everything and whatever. And this one, it's like Johnny, he can flame on and fly around. And Ben wasn't always the thing. And it's just like, what is this? But a lot of hype for this movie. I know people want to love it, but I'm just not sure. And there was just nothing witty, nothing catchy, no quotes in the first trailer. But we'll see what happens. It's just weird. Like, we live in this age where we get all this content, and yet it seems to cost more to make less quality movies than that, and they're taking more chances in that with characters and just screwing with canon and that. But I don't know. What does this connect to, if anything, this new Fantastic Four? And if so, why the 1960s? Because that's a very specific choice. But I don't know. We really didn't see much action in the trailer. I don't want to hear the same conversations over and over. We have these powers. What do? Use them. Go out and fight. Just too much talking and sometimes just trying too hard to be clever in that. And me, I'm like, I just want a bunch of amazing action sequences, battles and that. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, we've seen them before, all these characters and different iterations, and it's kind of like, what else you got? But let me know what you think. Thank you very much for listening. And you can download this episode for free on SoundCloud. And of course, stream for free. And please leave some comments. And I will see you next time on the You Got the Wrong Dude podcast.